Look, everybody wants the result. Nobody wants the process. Everyone wants to be rich, respected, and remembered, but not many want to bleed at tune aim when the world is quiet and no one is clapping. You want to win? Then you better fall in love with being unseen, unheard, and underestimated. Because here's the truth, the game is rigged in favor of the obsessed. You work when they sleep, because they won't see it coming. You win when they quit, because they never had the guts to stay. Look around. Everyone's making noise. Scrolling, talking, complaining, posting. They're loud, but they're not moving. They want to be heard, not earned. They want validation before results. They think attention equals achievement. But while they're busy looking busy, you're busy building. You don't need to tell the world what you're doing. You just need to do it. Let your results make the noise. See, most people work when it's convenient. They go to the gym when it fits their schedule. They work on their dream when the mood is right. They start something and stop halfway because it got hard or boring or quiet. But that's the difference. That's where the winners are made. In the silence, not the spotlight. It's like this: imagine a guy at 6 a.m. running in the freezing cold. No music, no one filming, no grand story on social media, just him in the street. You think he's doing it for likes? No, he's doing it because he made a decision. And that decision is louder than any noise outside. People will tell you to rest, take a break, you've done enough. They're projecting their limits onto you. Because when you rise, it reminds them of their laziness. Your discipline is offensive to their comfort. But here's the truth: you're not in this to be like them. You're in this to become something different. Something rare. And rare isn't found in comfort. Rare is found in the extra rep when no one's counting, the late night studying when your friends are asleep, the 10th cold call after 9, hang-ups. That's where it lives. Remember when you were a kid and stayed up all night to finish a level in a video game? No one had to force you. You were locked in, obsessed, and you didn't care if the world was sleeping. You had a mission. Now you're older and the game is different, but the principle is the same. The people who stay in the fight longer than everyone else win. You know that person at work who shows up early and stays late, the one who doesn't gossip or complain, just grinds. Give it time, they get the raise, they get the promotion, not because they're louder, but because they're relentless. They outwork the noise. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and your body says sleep and your mind says rest, that's the moment. That's the war. And every time you choose to stand up and go anyway, you become a different animal. Every rep, every late night, every early morning is a brick in the wall that separates you from everyone who just talks. People love talking about dreams, if you're willing to suffer for them. You suffer, you show up, you don't need a crowd, you need a reason. Because real hunger doesn't need a witness. They're chasing hype, you're chasing legacy. They're chasing comfort, you're chasing growth. They're chasing attention, you're chasing execution. The difference is clear. One makes noise, the other makes progress. Everyone talks about talent, timing, luck, but no one talks enough about consistency, not the sexy kind, not the loud kind, the kind that's boring, quiet, repetitive, the kind that doesn't care if you're tired, busy, or uninspired, the kind that just shows up every day, no matter what. This is what creates separation, not the one big move, not the one viral moment. It's the daily grind that nobody claps for. It's doing the same thing over and over again until it becomes who you are, not just what you do. Look at the gym. You see people come in January full of fire, new shoes, new playlist, new goals. They post every workout, every meal. Fast forward to February, half of them are gone. Why? Because motivation died and they never built discipline to replace it. But the person who kept showing up, same time, same weights, no audience, they're the one who transforms, not overnight, but over time. That's what consistency does. It makes you unstoppable quietly. Think about a bricklayer. He doesn't show up to the job site and drop 50 bricks in 1 hour and leave. No, he lays one brick, then another. Straight measured with care, day after day. It looks slow, it looks unimpressive, until one day there's a wall, then a house, then a structure that people respect. And they all ask, how'd you build that? One brick at a time? People underestimate what daily action can do because it's not dramatic, but that's the trap. Consistency isn't loud, it's not glamorous, but it's lethal because while others pause, reset, start over, you just keep going. You ever seen someone study every single night for a year straight, not cramming before exams, not begging for extra credit, just showing up to the books when nobody's watching? Those are the ones who crush it when the pressure is on. Not because they're smarter, because they're consistent. You don't become elite by doing intense things occasionally. You become elite by doing basic things relentlessly. Reps beat bursts, discipline beats talent, and the person who stays in motion the longest wins when you don't feel like doing it. That's the rep that matters the most. Anyone can act right when they feel good, but what you do on the days you feel off, that's what defines you. Think about a writer who writes 200 words a day, even on bad days. In a year, they've got a book. A salesperson who makes 5 extra calls a day, in a month, that's 100 more pitches. A content creator who posts every single day, even with 0 likes. In a year, they've built a brand. That's the power of consistency. Most people stop at 40% and call it burnout. They take breaks before they've even earned pressure. They wonder why they're stuck. It's not because they're not good enough. It's because they're not long enough. You want separation. You don't need to be twice as smart. You just need to last twice as long. You need to show up when others stop. You need to do version 1.0 even when it's ugly. The reason people can't beat you is not because you're the best. It's because you never left the field. They quit. You didn't. They lost momentum. You built it. They waited for perfect. You just started. Every single day, you added a drop, and now the bucket's overflowing. People think success is some magical moment, some lucky break, some hidden secret only the top 1% know. It's not. It's becoming a machine, a cold, consistent, emotionless machine, one that doesn't care if it's raining, if it's lonely, if no one's watching, if nothing is trending, because machines don't wait for moods. Machines run systems. They operate regardless of how they feel. And if you want to rise, truly rise, you have to kill the version of you that only works when it feels good. You have to replace it with someone who runs anyway, who shows up anyway. Think about it like this. You wake up at 5 a.m. alarm, hits your bed, feels like headway. Then even your body says, just 5 more minutes. But the machine, knows 5 more minutes. It's 5:30 years there from my wide. It's 5 years from my own comfort and whole while. They don't wait on we're as we're telling we're coming comfort and sorry by the way. So we're calling who we work for your skill building, your craft, no emotion, just execution. You walk into the gym like it's your factory, clock in, do the reps, clock out, no drama, no delay. Just production. That's how separation is built. Because while others are waiting for perfect weather, you're out there running in the storm. It's like a truck driver. He doesn't care if it's sunny, snowing, or 3 a.m. His only job is to get the load from point A to point B on time, no matter what. You start thinking like that, and your whole life changes. People ask, how do you stay so disciplined? It's not discipline, it's identity. This is just what I do, like breathing. I don't need to be motivated to breathe. I don't need to be to drink water. This is who I am. You have to become ruthless with your patterns, automate greatness, create routines so solid they drag you forward. When your emotions try to pull you back, you eat the same meals, you train at the same time, or you build habits that you use, tan out the sodium, your deep uniform, and machines don't cope you with the reward as scrollers don't come full blind when the rollout Mr. Walmart in the step down my fingers strong like fear, overthinking. It all costs energy, but when you run like a machine, you keep your energy on output, not internal drama, and you get faster and sharper and more dangerous because now your progress isn't random, it's inevitable. So every time you feel tired, bored, unseen, you remind yourself, I'm not here for applause, I'm here to execute. You weren't built to coast. You were built to run, built to rise, built to dominate. And every day you, like a machine, you get once closer to becoming the top one, the praise now, the reward now. They want thrilling them reward now. They want the likes, the approval, the success before they've even done the work. And that's why they lose. Dopamine is running the world, the quick hit, the easy scroll, the sugar, the app, the validation. People wake up and before they even brush their teeth, they're chasing it, scrolling through a screen, looking for someone to clap for them before they've even moved. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they grow, why they're not fulfilled, if they've been feeding on scraps of pleasure instead of building a feast of purpose. See, you're different. You don't chase dopamine, you delay it, you let the hunger sharpen you. Because when you stop feeding on easy pleasure, you start building real power. It's like going to the gym, you lift weights, your muscles burn, and there's no crowd, no applause, no instant result. You go home, look in the mirror, nothing changed, but you go back the next day and the next and the next, still nothing, still no result. Then one day, weeks later, someone says, yo, you look different, and you realize the progress was growing underground. Delayed dopamine is like planting seeds. You water them with sweat and wait, and while others get bored and give up, you stay, because you're not here for now, you're here for what's next. Look at a student who studies late at night while everyone else is partying, while is sleeping, they're grinding, no one sees them, and I'm going to sauce on this time who bring their talent, the bees people calendar, and inner fart cones, all the year with all in horn and laugh, I know it's seeking gay decks, was working mode, sky, sweat you whatever, for whatever, you collapse. Take a break. You've done enough. What they mean is come back to average with us, but you've already decided average isn't an option. You want that edge, the kind you earn, not the kind you post, and that edge comes from saying no to the party, no to the easy dopamine, no to the fake success that disappears tomorrow. Because when you delay the prime before you start needing them, and you train your reward and start needing your one who creates, when you become the one who really shouldn't want to show you people quarter. You grow. Water, wait, and when it finally blooms, it's stronger, deeper, more powerful than they imagined. The high you get from results that took years will always be greater than anything that took seconds. So let them chase the cheap thrill. You're chasing mastery because your chase doesn't need the hit. Because it becomes day one who they beg when it's excluding. And become the source fretting when the day with is fresh, when the top being life shows up, not the Instagram version, the real we're feeling with rephrase, never opponent, I shill, you are the word of life for sure. Setbacks, failure, silence, and doubt. That's when most people quit, not because they're weak, but they're weak, but because they thought it would be different. They thought Wings Out progress would be fast. They thought motivation would last, but be fast. It's about motivation, but the truth is when it gets real, that's when the training gets boring, the diet gets, when the real ones rise, the gym gets to look like a burner, the stars splitting, the diet gets yelling for the breeze doesn't for mirror, or maybe the start like a goal, instead of person like a goal, they saw the game, people get one to make it the way they say, or make you trying to win for people, people watch that, guys, this doesn't work, and gives up, but the beast says, not there yet, and comes back harder, sharper, because they understand failing isn't the end. Quitting is, there's a moment in every journey where the excitement fades and you're left with repetition and resistance. That's where most people turn around, but you plan to fuse mouth, because this darkness for it's deeper. It's okay for start much to walk out and the other side of estimation. I'm going to grow this, I'm going to design a sermon, so I'll grow this up, none of my review, whatever if it was working. I'm still here, you bleed, you break, you rebuild, and each time warm, you keep going, you become the version of yourself that others can't compete with it because they never made it past the part that broke them. But you did, you walked through fire and came out forged. Most people quit when it gets real, but it's real exposed to who's ready. And you're still breathing, but it's still breathing if you're still in the fanny. And if you're still humming, if you're when the real war is. Yeah, our stage from the Jenny and everything your word, worries, words in no one war as no words that let you release like that was your world was said you're when we're so reasonable, convincing, that's what makes it lethal. See. My book's open in 80, then you sleep carry shout out to music, no motivation, just selling war between C, no be every selling number for the more between what's perceived and between cart more. So we'll see on the war blazes some on the start of a worm and almost what's in science. Wasn't always great and such a bomb, but I was right on the same, but there were that much in the white room, but it's like, I'm only walking a blood away, the very bomb, and I'm going to say, I'm going to fight out the bloody fuck out with it. I'll just have there, and you'll letting fly on the war, and told me that before I go, shoot us more, and there, and people know why I'll come around. Invisible winds that can add up, they become who you are, and wonder how you did, they'll think it was sudden. But it never was you were just sudden, but it just winning when no one saw it, and now here you are, still standing, still breathing, still hungry, after all the noise, after all the distractions are after all this raw, the spirit's telling you, all the doubt, and sounds, or the spirit telling one of the doubt, and wisdom was telling you, you've got one or someone here, but then it, I mean, that's what the wind got on fire, you've got to be somewhere, even the wind, people that are lying, they can't be shooting you for you, putting out a cut, and I said, when anybody in the course, anyone who like you, when you're going away, you'll fire, you going south, and you're, and we're telling you, which is 4 hours, on your side, so it's all on the Mary said. Don't quit suffering on Lunk, who said, disremember, when the question be your, yeah, Juan Young, who's this, but nobody calls it freedom. life, you take record, or but you tell me, or co-Brian, or rest the end, not in the middle, your middle. You're not co-defend, you're going to dominate. We can't something on the road, we're not kicking with something, we're not the concept, I don't trust me, working on not table, sure, I lot of it in the morning, we're not paid as money, your world, like worse than the people around you, like, yeah, man, I'm a fat giant, me all life, and you're right, what's more, I want to live up, I think you're not even, you're a song, you're a